Think about a comfortable life, one where you have the biggest house on the block, the finest clothes around, and you can eat anything and everything you desire. Think about a life where your job is so significant, you have a bodyguard with you at work, serving as both your protection and a show of your importance. That was Matthew's life, and he threw it all away and decided to become poor. He accepted a beggar's life, living off of other people's charity. He became fine with not having a permanent residence, going from day to day, unsure of whether he'd sleep in a tent or on a bed, or perhaps the inside of a cell. Was he crazy? No. In fact, I'd argue that some of you watching might have even done the same. Matthew was a Jew born at a time of Roman occupation. Because the Romans needed a way to charge and monitor the collection of taxes from the Jews, they designated and heavily rewarded particular Jews who would serve as tax collectors. Matthew became one of these tax collectors and so enjoyed the extravagant life of one favored by the Romans. So then, why in the world would he abandon such a beautiful life? You could say that he found something or someone. I was always perplexed by what Jesus said about the merchant selling everything he has in order to acquire a buried treasure in a field. But with Matthew's life, it makes sense. When Jesus came, he turned Matthew's world upside down. What Matthew thought was important, riches, honors, and pleasures, were things that Jesus did not proclaim. And what Jesus did emphasize, healing, transformation, and repentance, were things that Matthew seemed to have wanted deep down. Each interaction, no matter how short, seemed to awaken that longing inside him, that hunger which he had all his life, the hunger that none of his riches or honors could satisfy. And that was more than enough to make him leave everything he had known and loved to be with Jesus. Because of his extravagant life while policing his fellow Jews, he did not have an easy time whilst being with Jesus. He was discriminated and hated, yet he persisted until finally, after all his struggling to prove that he was no longer the tax collector they thought they knew, he became loved and earned his place among the disciples, even going so far as to chronicle his experiences with Jesus so that the world might know what Jesus did and we might all be better for it. Matthew shows us by example what it means to love and pursue the Lord with all our heart, our mind, our soul, and our strength. And Jesus shows us the way he patiently waited before calling Matthew, that he waits for us, planting seeds, showing us little miracles until we are finally ready to answer his call. What about you? How is Jesus calling you today? How will you let him change your life? In your dealings with him, may your life become as fulfilling as the tax collector turned apostle known as Matthew. God bless.